Welcome back to the DNA Pest Control Podcast. Daniel.
And Aaron
Okay.
in the flesh.
In the flesh, live, not really, recorded.
Yeah.
Someday. One, thanks for coming back. Bonus episode before the end of the month. But we're doing this for a reason. So we wanted to throw out for National Pest Management Month is actually the month of April. So we have something a little fun going on. We want as many guests from the field as we can, all over the world, within the states, doesn't really matter. What we're doing is we want to bring you guys on. We want to hear your stories. We want to really focus on you guys. I mean, that's the whole point of pest management. Without the technicians, we're not really anything, are we?
Nope.
So we want to give that back to you guys. We want to shine the spotlight on you. We want to throw out those fun, crazy stories that we run through because we run into so many crazy stuff that happens to us out in the field. We also are going to do a swag box. So, Aaron, you got the hoodie. Move the mic a little bit.
Oh, my fault.
There we go. We got the hoodie. If you can see it.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Now it looks good. Your mic covers it up. So we're going to throw out the hoodie. We got the hat. If you guys haven't seen it already, as well as a t-shirt and a few other bonus things that we're going to throw in that box as well. So at the end of the month, we're going to choose who we thought had the best story, who came on, just killed it. And we're going to send them that swag box with all of our logos, the hoodie, the t-shirt, the hat, and a few extra things inside that box. So please go to the website. You can put your information there to be a guest. You can message us through Facebook. You can go onto our Facebook group. So go on there. We're starting to grow that as well. You can see the videos there. And you can message us directly to be a guest from Facebook. You can go on to Instagram and do that. Send us an email through our Gmail. You can do that as well. Did I cover everything?
Sounds about right.
Instagram, Facebook, email. Oh, website. You can go on the website. There is an actual pest guest page. You can go there and you can send us your information through that and we'll get you on.
Yeah, sooner the better. We're trying to get as many guests as we can.
Oh, yeah. So we already have a few lined up, but please hit us up.
Yeah.
We want you on and we want to give you, we want to know your story. We want to know a little bit about you and what you're doing out there.
Exactly.
All right, Aaron, let's move on to the next.
Okay. So bonus episode. What are we talking about today?
Oh, well, this one was actually, it literally came out of nowhere. This letter actually that Aaron's holding showed up on my desk mid-March out of nowhere. And it actually fell right in line with what we have been talking about the past few episodes. And it was, if you guys remember, drum roll, I could hit the button, but I don't want to do it. RUP, right? So restricted use products and rodenticides specifically.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say I told you so or we told you so, but we told you so. They're already starting and they're already starting in California. So this is a letter actually from one of the ag counties. If there's anybody from the ag listening or watching, this is a perfect time to turn it off and run because I'm going to make fun of you for a minute. Is you guys suck and you're very slow at everything you guys do, which is really unfortunate and kind of sad because there's so many small companies that don't have this information readily available. And one county that we do services in out of the 20 plus counties or whatever it is, one sent us this letter. And not only did they send us it in March 18th, okay, this was supposed to be known throughout the state of California and applied to every pest control company on January 1st, 2024. Not 2025, 2024.
Yes.
So come on. This is some of this stuff that is kind of ridiculous that gets me a little bit worked up. You guys have heard it on the podcast. Now you get to see me get worked up. We just don't know. And how are we going to know these things? How do I know who passes this law? And you know what? Some people are going to say, come on, you guys know NPMA, they do their national pest management stuff, PCOC. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I've been a part of both and I don't receive this information from them either.
Mm.
So it's not like I'm in a constant loop of all of these things that these associations are supposed to even be fighting for, and they don't even tell us this information. And which is really sad because this information is directly in California, specifically affecting everybody within California. And even the associations haven't said much about it.
Yeah.
And maybe they have inside their group. They didn't email anybody outside of it and they haven't done anything. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that. But MPMA didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So some of those bigger associations, which I'm probably gonna get killed for that, saying these things.
It's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. But it's all learning experience, right? We're all trying to be better. And I'm not going after them because I don't want them to be better. I want them to get mad at us. I want it corrected. I just want it fixed. I want a way that we can figure this information out quicker, sooner, and at a small level. Bigger companies, yeah, they're going to know about this stuff. You have smaller companies, it's a one-man show. How do you find that stuff out?
You don't.
I mean, until someone sends you a letter, but what if we weren't in this county?
Yeah.
Would they ever send it?
Probably not.
I mean, we haven't gotten it from anybody else.
Yeah. It's true.
So it's crazy. It's crazy to think about, but that's what this is about. But we're talking about RUPs, we're talking about rodenticides, we're talking about the changes that are affecting us today, right now. Luckily, this is a product that we do not use, but it's still now. It's here and now. These are the changes that we said were going to come and we saw coming.
Yeah.
And they're here.
Here they are.
They're already here. So if you want to read the letter from the wonderful ag department.
Absolutely. So just like Daniel said, dated March 18th, 2024, to Placer County pesticide businesses and license holders from Josh Hunsinger, the Placer County Agricultural Commissioner. So if you're in California, you probably know where Placer County is. So effective January 1st, 2024, most uses of rodenticide. See, I knew I was going to do it.
Oh, you already forgot?
Oh, yeah. Diphycinone are prohibited on most products containing that are required to be sold by licensed dealers. On October 13th, 23, Governor Newsom signed Assembly Bill AB 1322 to prohibit and restrict the use of diphycinone. Any bait traps containing prohibited materials must be removed from the field effective January 1st, 2024. Attacher answers to frequently asked questions provided by the DPR.
Yeah. And so we're going to read some of the questions and answers that they gave just so you guys understand kind of what that means and what direction is that, it's going and how strict some of this stuff is really going to get. And I wanted to throw it out there. So this is the first generation anticoagulant. Okay. So,
it's like isn't it the JT Eaton blocks have it? I can't think of what products that I see in the wild that still might have it on there.
I'll look up a few while we're running through these questions, but this is part of the first gen, and part of the first gen is the warfarin.
Okay.
And the I don't even know how to say it. I don't even try.
Chlorocalciferol. I got you from last week.
No. This is a different one.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know. Here, let's see if you can see it.
See it
right there. That one. See, guys, we're just regular people. Okay.
Hold on, I'm going to sound this out.
I'm not a scientist. I don't know.
Chlorofascinone.
That's
there
right.
We go.
Okay.
There we go.
Sorry, guys.
For all you smarties out there.
Yeah. You're going to, yep. That's another thing they're going to get us on. But this is all part of the first gen bait, but now they're cutting this off as a restricted use product.
Yeah.
And they're going to go through as what they can do, steal with it, and kind of the common questions that have been asked, and they're throwing out the answers to it.
Yeah, exactly. So question number 1, will retailers be allowed to sell existing stocks of diphycinone products after January 1st, 2024? The answer is Many diphencyl products are currently required to be sold by licensed dealers by virtue of the product being labeled as either a restricted use pesticide or including an agricultural use under California's broad legal definition in FAC section 11408. There are also many diphencyl products which can currently be sold by retailers because they do not meet these requirements. The other products' registered labeling may contain prohibited and allowed uses under the amended FAC section. Good?
Yeah, no, keep
Okay.
going. Yeah, you're good.
Because use is prohibited under FAC section 12978 are restricted materials stating January 1st, 2024, only licensed pest control dealers can sell to end users diphencyl products labeled for any prohibited use. DPR anticipates the vast majority of diphencyl products will be required to be sold by licensed pest control dealers. This has the practical effect of limiting most consumer sales of these products. And then it goes down to say, for those products which currently may be sold by retailers and which are labeled only for uses allowed by the amended FAC section, those products could continue to be sold by retailers in 2024. However, DPR anticipates this scenario is unlikely given many diphencyl products labels contain a mix of uses prohibited and allowed under the FAC section. Starting January 1st, DPR anticipates the vast majority of diphencyl products will be required to be sold by licensed pest control dealers.
Yep. So I'll throw out some. There is a Farm and Home Tomcat brand of all-weather bait chunks that have it. There is Ramic Green, which has it, which are pellets. Ditrac has it.
Okay.
So there's just a few that actually have it there, which will be restricted. And this is actually on Amazon, which is interesting. So it'll be really interesting to see if we can even buy it. And I should probably try to buy it and see if they send it.
Let's do it.
You know, like see if they actually will send it to my place and I actually have it.
Yeah. Tune in next week.
Yeah, be really interesting, right? To see if we can purchase this still on Amazon. So we'll see how good these laws really are.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So I'll test it out. It's only $20. $23.99. Some of them are a little bit more. But I'll try it out. I'll see if I can purchase it. They say that you're not supposed to, and it's not supposed to be shipped. So it'll be really interesting to see what Amazon has to say.
Yeah.
When we buy it and it shows up. I'll throw a little video out on Instagram about it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So there's a few of the brands that are getting wiped off, but some of the first gens we've already been used to actually seeing gone. In most cases, at least here in California, outside the States, I don't know where that sits, but that's that first gen bait that's pretty much been wiped. Now it's getting even stricter, and I bet that's going to be the step right before they just say it's done.
Yeah.
At least done in the state, which we're going to start to see trickles throughout the rest of the US with this too.
Always happens.
Oh yeah. All right. You want to keep going?
Yes. Question number 2. If diphencyl products labeled for prohibited use are on the retail shelf after January 1st, 2024, what is the consequence?
Ooh.
Answer. Unlawful sales of restricted materials may be subject to administrative and civil enforcement actions pursuant FAC sections, blah, blah, blah.
So we'll see if Amazon gets hit.
Hold on.
Okay.
Question 3.
Yeah.
Does the law apply to retailers selling diphencyl products online?
Ooh.
Answer. Yes. After January 1st, 2024, if you encounter an online retailer selling a product with prohibited uses who is not a licensed dealer, please collect the available information, such as a website or social media link, retailer name, just a long list of how you can find somebody, and refer to the DPR's product compliance unit for follow-up.
Okay, I'm going to do something else then too. Let's go to DIY.
Okay.
Let's see, guys. You can keep reading. I'm going to check this out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go on DIY because they have DIY pest control, right? Whatever it's called. I don't remember what it is. There it is. So pest control supplies. Let's see if they sell it.
Yeah. Interrupt me if you find it.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Keep going. I'll let you know because this is interesting now. Diving more into it.
Question number 4. What should retailers who are not pest control dealers do with existing stocks? Answer: existing stocks must be removed from sale by January 1st. Existing stocks may be recovered by distributors or appropriately disposed of. Retailers may contact their state or local hazardous waste disposal program to find out how to dispose of diphencyl products appropriately. Makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Question number 5. How will licensed dealers determine if a diphencyl product can be sold? In accordance with existing requirements, such as Title III California Code of Regulations, Section 6568, which requires dealers to obtain a copy of the permit authorizing the use prior to delivery of the pesticide. Dealers routinely question potential purchasers to determine if regulatory requirements can be met prior to sale or delivery of the pesticide. Interesting.
Yeah.
This will be especially important for diphencyl products, as product labeling may contain a mix of uses either prohibited or allowed under the FAC section we went over earlier. A pest control dealer would meet its obligation by determining whether a prospective purchaser's stated intent for the uses allowed by the FAC section and the use sites on the product labeling to determine if the sale can be made without obtaining a copy of a permit.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing it firsthand what's going to happen. I mean, and really what's going to start to change how we take care of rodents. Hopefully they don't get rid of rodenticides altogether, but
mhm,
you're seeing that change and how strict they're going to start getting with it.
mhm. Here's where it gets interesting. Starting into some other tiers.
Okay.
So, question 6. County agricultural commissioner offices currently sell diphencyl rodent bait for agricultural uses. How will they be impacted by the amended law? Can they continue to sell the bait? Answer: since 2011, the diphencyl treated grain products sold by the commissioners, either at 0.005 or 0.01, have been labeled as restricted use pesticide, as required by US EPA. Existing law provides the dealer licensing requirements of the FAC section do not apply to federal, state, or county agencies which provide pesticides for agricultural use, such as these products.
Oh, of course they're exempt.
That's what I was trying to say.
Of course they're gonna. No. They're not gonna pass a law where it's the same thing that you start to see. It's kind of actually scary to think about. Um, you go back to like Germany back in the day, and they started doing these gun laws and things like
Mhm.
that. And it was, you can't have them, but we can, because we don't trust you as the people, but we trust us as the government. And then we
Mhm.
obviously know how that ended. It wasn't good,
Yeah.
but that's exactly what these products are coming to. It's
Mhm.
no, you're restricted because you don't know how to use them. We're going to use them just how they should be used.
Mhm.
And it's like, really? You think that's like, you're not going to hire someone who doesn't really care?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not there. So, but they're never going to point the finger back at them. They're going to say, hey, no, it's you guys.
Mhm.
It's you as the professional. It's you as the homeowners, But it's funny because some of these products, a lot of this stuff was sold on a shelf at Home Depot, Walmart.
Yeah.
And then it's all this misuse and secondary kills and all this. And it's like, oh, it's the pest control technicians. And
Yes.
it's like, I mean, it could,
Maybe.
but you put that in the hands of what? How many technicians are out there? 100,000, 200,000, 500,000.
I have no clue.
And then you go to the popular. Yeah, I don't think it's that many. I
Mhm.
mean, I think it's fairly small. I don't think we're that big of a group, compared to the general public, which is 300 and whatever million in the US, and everyone can buy it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Well, it's more likely that a homeowner messed up than us.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when it gets to restrictions with Termidor and all that. It's like, was it really us spraying it down the drain or getting into the waterways, or was it a homeowner that could buy it and they were pouring it down the drain because it was a pesticide and they saw a cockroach come out of the drain
Mhm.
and they thought, oh, that's where they're coming from. So
Drain
I'm gonna
treatment.
their own drain treat. Exactly. But that's what I think of is when I hear some of these things is of
Mhm.
course they're going to take it away from everybody but themselves.
Yeah.
But it also makes you think, these are the guys making the laws. So they know it works.
Mhm.
If you use it properly, it works really well. So why is it illegal to us, but okay for them? They're still going to use it at their sites. They're still allowed to use it in sensitive areas. They're still going to go and put it in places.
Mhm.
We can't, but
Yeah.
they can. It's anyway. It's funny. It's weird,
Mhm.
but it's there. And
Yeah. I'm trying to have it make sense because they even give examples in case that didn't make enough sense.
Oh,
So
perfect.
they actually have allowed uses and prohibited uses.
Yeah.
So allowed uses may include use in and around livestock buildings, dormant vineyards, orchards, groves, non-crop borders, fallow fields, pastures, and rangelands. Where it's prohibited may include highways.
May.
You like that? I had to
Yeah.
put that in there. Highways, railroad lines, utilities, any campgrounds and recreational areas.
Huh.
What does that even mean?
It means that it may include those areas. It depends on the person and who's upset that day and how much they like you or don't like you. And then
Bingo.
they can decide whether they want to fine you or they don't want to fine you.
Bingo. Bingo.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting one. On to the next question 7. How do the changes affect branch 2 diphencyone uses? Registered branch 2 companies practicing structural pest control are prohibited from using diphencyone with certain limited exemptions allowed under the law. And then it has in parentheses, such as vector control applications or medical waste generators, slaughterhouses, factories, and certain warehouses, provided the use site is listed on the product labeling. As noted above, all other diphencyone uses, such as use in residential areas, are prohibited starting January 1st.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean that makes a little bit more sense. So in food production facilities, you're able to use it so that they can keep the food production going.
Correct. Because
And
that's
they
considered exempt.
Yeah, they want to kill anything that's getting into food processing plants.
Which makes sense.
But outside of that makes a lot more sense than what they did with the AB 1788 or whatever it was. I think I said it right. But that one made no sense at all.
Yeah.
We want to not have any secondary kills to wild animals, but you're allowed to use it in orchards and vineyards.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to an orchard or a vineyard, but it's not in a neighborhood.
Mhm.
I can tell you that right now. It's out in the middle of nowhere where there's a ton of animals.
Mhm.
It doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
Last time I checked, I haven't seen an orchard or a vineyard in the middle of a city.
Yeah.
It's like we're allowed to put the product where all the wild animals can go, but we're not allowed. See, this one at least makes a little bit more sense.
I agree with you. That kind of grounds it a little bit.
Well, the previous question was absolutely
Insane.
stupid. Yeah.
I know. Now, in the next category, before question 8, it says other uses underlined. Question 8. How do the changes affect diphencyone use by farmers, ranchers, or growers? Under the amended law, the FAC section, permit use on agricultural sites producing farm products, an agricultural production site housing water storage and conveyance facilities, and an agricultural production site right of way and other transportation infrastructure. The prohibition on diphencyone use by the FAC section does not apply to these uses. As such, these allowed diphencyone uses are unaffected by the amended law provided the product is registered for such use. For these allowed uses, and in big bold letters, no permit for diphencyone is required.
So they do. So they are allowing you to still use them in those sites, and there's
Yes.
no permit to have. Yeah, it's kind of weird,
Mhm.
but it's still a restricted use product.
Mhm.
So you still have to be licensed, and the company selling it has to be licensed to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So if I order it on Amazon, sorry, Amazon, you're probably going to get fined
Mhm.
because you're selling this product.
Yeah.
And maybe they're not because they're the middlemen and they don't need to know.
Yeah.
It could just go back to the main person who is buying it.
Mhm.
And then I'm buying it as a licensed tech. So maybe I should have my wife buy it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And see if it works that way.
It doesn't matter. We'll test Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't really care that they sell it, but it's interesting to see what the state is willing to do in scenarios like that,
Sure.
because that's what makes our job a little bit more difficult. Is here's all these products that we have to be licensed to use,
Hmm.
but a homeowner can buy and just be meh, whatever and throw it everywhere.
All the time.
And so that, to me, once again, it just goes back. You put all these laws don't apply to a homeowner.
Mm-mm.
One, they'll never know. They just got to go buy it online. But it comes back and it hits us and affects us.
Yeah.
Now, this one's a product we don't use, so it
Hmm.
doesn't affect us at all. But anybody out there who is using it or in other states using it, this could come back and actually bite you,
Hmm.
if you don't know these changes are happening in your state.
Hmm.
But then a homeowner can still use it.
Yeah.
So
I
then you
see.
go back to where it's like, well, you can use better products than I can. You might as well do your own pest control.
Yeah.
Why are you paying me?
Hmm.
You know? So really interesting.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
but I'm still gonna do that. I want to see what they do and how Amazon reacts to it to see if it's just general public. Buy it. Cool.
Hmm. I know.
Yeah.
I see tons of stuff out there in people's houses.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at some of it and I'm like reading some of the label. I'm like, oh God, this is like before my time, you know?
Yeah, you're probably gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all bad. All right.
Question 9. And we only have, so there's a total of 11. So I'm almost say thank you for bearing with us.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Question 9. What can end users do with the diphencyl products they have in storage, which they can no longer use? For all end users, if the container is unopened and the end user can consider contacting the dealer or registrant to ask about returning it. Alternatively, end users who may have open containers, including homeowners and apartment managers, may contact their state or local hazardous waste disposal program to find out how to dispose of these diphencyl products appropriately.
Hmm. How would an apartment know? An apartment management.
They get the letter, dude. That's how they know.
But they're not even licensed.
Too
And
bad.
homeowners aren't licensed. How would they get that letter?
They're just supposed to know. Isn't that right?
Magical.
They're supposed to know.
Wave their little magical wand, Harry Potter over there.
Yeah, the apartment manager thing was that's weird. Question 10. Does this law affect diphencyl applications on federal property? Answer. Other than certain pollution control standards, federal agencies and their employees are not subject to California pesticide laws and regulations. The amended law,
Whoa.
the amended law instructs state agencies to encourage federal agencies to comply with the law's requirements. However, pest control businesses licensed by DPR or registered with the Structural Pest Control Board conducting pest control on federal property are still subject to California laws and regulations.
That's kind of weird. So federally, you don't have to listen on a state level because you're feds. So you're above that.
Correct.
So if it's my building, it doesn't matter. So I can go and put that product out because I'm
Mhm.
federal. But as a pest control company that you're contracted with,
Mhm.
they are not allowed, which makes sense. I
Mhm.
mean, they're not following the feds rules.
Yeah.
I mean, they are minimum, the
Yeah,
minimum, but
right.
they're held to the state level.
Mhm.
But it's still funny, like
Yeah.
federally in that state, they're like, man, screw you. We're not listening to you, and you can't do it. And then I guess it makes sense. You can't do anything
The
if you're
feds.
yeah, federally, you're above the state. You
Mhm.
can't. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
They're not gonna do anything.
Nothing.
Dang. Okay, keep
Nothing.
going. Let's hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's finish this out.
No, that was it on question 10. So, question 11, the last section and the last question, it says public/applicators restricted material permits. The question is, who needs a restricted material permit to purchase or use diphencyl? Sir, due to the unique wording of the FAC section, the resulting situation is substantially different from other situations where if a particular use is included on a product label, an end user looking to purchase or use the product would require a restricted material permit from the commissioner. Diphencyl uses prohibited by FAC section are restricted materials. Allowed users are exempt from the requirement. As the prohibited uses are unlawful, a diphencyl permit application for prohibited use does not meet an objectively determined minimum requirement to allow for legal use of a diphencyl product. A county agricultural commissioner cannot issue a permit for diphencyl for a prohibited use. If you have any questions regarding this information, please call. Thank you. From Josh Hunsinger, Agriculture Commissioner, County of Placer.
Thanks for sending it. I mean, at least
We appreciate
somebody's
it.
doing it. Yeah.
And now we know.
Yeah, 3 months later. Even though that law was passed September.
So it was October 23. So bill was passed October 13th, 2023 to be effective January 1st, 2024. We got the letter March 18th, 2024.
Welcome to wonderful government.
There we go.
Good thing it doesn't affect us. Once again, it goes back. It doesn't affect us. Not us directly. Maybe some other companies around, but for us, it doesn't. But that's what you're going to start to see when it comes to restricted use products. That's what you're going to start to see when they start cracking down on even pesticides. So it doesn't shock me that you need a permit, through the commissioner of that county to even use it. And they're saying here, you have to have that in their county to use it in their county. So you need that permit to be able to buy it and go from there. So we'll see how that works and how that happens. But this is one of many things and many changes we're going to start to see.
Yeah.
And I think there's even legislation day or whatever coming up here in California. I think they do it all through all the states. But you're going to see that is they're going to be fighting against these laws. Some of this stuff, it doesn't necessarily matter. Other things that are a lot bigger do, certain products that start to hit us and affect us in a bad way. It is going to make our job harder. But this is what we're talking about, is being prepared and be prepared. Be ready for a change, anticipate what that's going to look like and start changing that now. Do you have that in your, in sight and in mind? Because it's not if, it's when. And when that happens, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So be ready for that. This wasn't a big one. The AB 1788 was a bigger one, and I had to find out through a dealer that it was even in like that it passed. And they're like, oh, you shouldn't have any base stations with that in it. I'm like, well, shit, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, how was I supposed to know that? But be prepared and be ready for that change.
Exactly.
So it's interesting, but I want to do a quick reminder before we close.
Perfect.
National Pest Management Month, April. It's coming up, guys. Please send us that information. Be a guest. We'd love to have you. Love to hear your stories. We'd love to share our stories with you. Ask questions back and forth where you are at in your career, and it doesn't matter. I don't care if you're brand new, 1 month in, just barely learning, to 40, 50 years in, it doesn't matter to me. It's fun to hear your guys' stories. It's fun to see those changes. And some of the old guys out there, if you do get a hold of this or somebody comes and talks to you about it, jump on. We'd love to ask you guys these questions about these changes. You guys have seen a lot of changes over the years that we haven't seen. We're seeing more changes, I think, a lot more frequent than you guys did now, but we'd love to see what you guys did and how companies reacted over the years and what changes happened. It'd be awesome. But National Pest Management Month starting April. Get ready. We'd love to have you guys on. We want as many pest guests as possible.
Yes, pest guests are my favorite episodes, and the tech ones are always at least the most interesting, so please send that in. Before we close, just want to remind everybody too, episodes drop every Monday and Thursday. We have Instagram, our website, Facebook now, YouTube. I know you hit on in the beginning, but we're going into the pest guest heavy month. Right on our website, there's a little fillable form that you can send us. That way we'll reach out, we'll get everything scheduled. But we do appreciate the support. And thank you again for listening to the DNA Pest Control Podcast.